So yeah, I really think that Kendrick just destroyed Drake on this album. It's pretty sick.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
What's this?
I don't know. That's a cool little. Yeah.
Should I open it?
Yeah. Break the seal. Oh, that was a very clean break.
You may have noticed that one of you has not been here. The one with the red hair, booming voice, and so-so opinions has managed to disappear. Origins found in Ringo Birthday. You'll enter the fray, looking for clues in movies to find where she'll remain. Yours truly, Library Ghost.
That's not at all ominous. That's like, we should
Ah! Spooky season is upon us. Welcome to Mayapack Public Library's Pop Culture Podcast. I'm Lewis, your spooky season host, along with
Simona
and Joe.
Thank you. You know, we got a very ominous note, so we had to watch a very ominous film. Is it Ringu Zero?
Yeah.
Ringu Zero is the movie we watched. It is the origin story for the Ring series. And I'll tell you, there were a lot of questions. But it was a lot of cool stuff, but a lot of questions. So let's get started. What do you guys think? We have these really fancy notes by, I don't know who wrote them.
Yeah, I've got the largest notes of all time over here, and yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Looks like a football coach's playbook.
I mean, okay, things I really liked about this movie. This has like the platonic ideal of early 2000s, late 90s J horror vibes. That camera is grainy. Everything is in like this terrible sterile lighting that makes every building look evil. Like I love that kind of stuff. I like every scene in the hospital felt so wrong. Great vibes to it. I thought the main performance, the girl playing Sadako, was pretty great. Like yeah. I liked her physicality in it, and I like she sort of like would sort of like crumple herself up. Like to bring into Succession, it kind of reminds me of Roman at that meeting after he sends a picture to his dad.
He sends a pic to his dad by accident.
Oh.
But yeah, I liked all of that a lot. There were plot elements that were a little confusing that I'm sure we'll get into. But yeah, what do you guys think?
So, you know, I felt like I was waiting a lot for things to happen. Now, so some of the J horror films that I've seen, they tend to be a little slower. Like the first one I thought was Audition, but that's a pretty slow paced movie until like it hits you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, and I think I went into this thinking it was going to be like that, but nothing really hit me. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there were a couple things that I really liked. A couple of things that stood out to me. There's this one scene where Sadako's mother is brushing her hair, and the way she's looking in the mirror and the way she's positioned and the way the camera tracks back, I was like, that is an all-star level shot right there. That was great. I really, like Joe said, loved the young woman who played Sadako. I thought she was magnificent.
Yuki Nakama.
Yeah, she was great. And I really liked the part at the ending where she's waking up, or you think she's waking up, and she reaches out for Toyame and reaches out for him and touches the wall of the well, and she realizes that she's stuck in a well. That was the scariest part to me, being like, oh my God, like this perfectly innocent person is stuck in a well and is going to die there. Like, that was the scariest part to me.
I'm finding out that Yuki Nakama was a former idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like a type of model. Like I don't know if they call it gravure. Like I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Where you model like clothing or like specific items to like I think a company or something like that.
She did have a debut single, which
okay.
I would love to hear the Sadako pop single.
I wonder if they've ever done that. Where like your favorite horror villains release albums. Wouldn't that be cool?
Let's do it.
Okay, so there have been at least horror movie themed raps. Like there's Nightmare on My Street by Will Smith.
Oh.
And I think Freddie makes an appearance in that, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe that's the Fat Boys one. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
There's a lot of Freddy Krueger raps, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what would they sing about? Like, that's, I think, what I would find so cool. Sadako just drops an album.
There is, of course, the classic Monster Mash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Scary Movie, the killer does a freestyle and then kills everyone.
Oh, yeah. Ghostface. Yeah.
It's like, I'll slice you and dice you and cut you in half. And then everyone's dead around him. He's like, oh, man.
That was really fun. I remember that. Yeah, I would say, like, going into it, because our library ghost was kind enough to give some trigger warnings on the film. So, but when I went, I was like, oh, okay. I appreciate it, but I think they weren't really necessary. There were a lot of questions that I have, and I have, like, a list of them. The slow pacing wasn't really a surprise because, as we've mentioned, with a lot of J-horror or even like Korean horror, like it's very slow. Not a whole lot is going to be explained to you. You sort of have to figure it out or try to figure it out as you go along. I liked, like, one of my favorite scenes is when we see, I call her Baby Sadako. There's adult Sadako and Baby Sadako.
For some reason.
Because that's just the way I like to differentiate
Which
them.
is not explained.
I was sort of baffled by that because the most explanation we got was Dr. Akuna being like, at some point
they split.
She split in two. And it's like you saw a child undergo mitosis, dude. You saw that, and you're like,
and he was trying to keep her locked up, right? Which confused me too because she's out. So bad job.
Yeah, he's drugging her for some reason, but doesn't do a very good job of it.
Yeah, so, like, that kind of confused me, too. But, like, I like the scene when the costume designer is, like, sitting alone working on the dress, and then you just see in the background Baby Sadako just walks right by creepily.
Yes.
At that point, I was confused why Baby Sadako didn't do anything. I mean, I know the character has to live until the end of the movie. I get that. But, like, story-wise, like, she just, like, appears, like, creepily walking by, but doesn't do anything. Like, I thought that was the time that the dressmaker would die. Apparently, no. Baby Sadako had other plans. But I liked that moment. And then the ending is where things really picked up for me when the reporter and the dressmaker are hiding in the house. And the reporter closes the window. You see Sadako standing like this. Then she turns the corner. You see adult Sadako just chilling there. And I almost jumped out of my chair. I was like, oh, my God. I thought that was awesome.
Something I loved about how adult Sadako moved in that scene was it was very reminiscent of the injury she sustained when they were beating her.
Oh yeah,
and I thought that was just I thought that was powerful because I was like, ooh, that's like a really cool I don't know, that's a really cool physical interpretation of that.
Yeah. And did anyone else not care that everyone died?
No, not
like at that point I was rooting for everyone to die.
They were terrible. That acting troupe was terrible. They were filled with terrible people, except for
Toyama.
Yeah. Except for him.
Yeah.
He was such a cool dude.
He was.
I felt so bad for the two of them.
I know, you wanted them to make it,
Yeah.
right? You knew they weren't going to, but you still were.
Definitely knew they weren't going to.
We're rooting for that
Etsuko,
romance.
I don't know why she had a change of heart at the end, and she was like, "No, let her go."
She seemed like a flaky person in general, though. Well, she was just terribly flaky. And I was trying to understand Akiko's deal, like why she was gunning for this poor girl. And then when I read this, I was like, oh, because like her mom inadvertently, which our library ghost revealed it wasn't the mom anyway. During the exposition that the mom gave, people died.
It was the baby Sadako.
Yeah. And I'm like, but baby Sadako has nothing to do, well, unless she didn't realize they were split. So, maybe I just probably answered my own question.
Baby Sadako does seem to follow adult Sadako and cause mayhem wherever adult Sadako goes.
Yeah, and I like at one point when you hear baby Sadako, I was like, oh, are they coming after us now? Or something like that. Like, doesn't she whisper something like that? And I was like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've been killing people. Yeah, so I felt really bad for adult Sadako. Like, I really wanted her to have a good life and debut. And
I thought a lot of the sound design was cool, because here we get a bit of a different, different take on Sadako's powers, because it's not through the videotapes and televisions anymore, because this is set 30 years earlier, so they don't have videotapes. We get sound-based death knells, where it's sort of just like this like weird distortion, and I don't know, I liked that, and they used it to cool effects in certain scenes. Felt very, very David Lynchy, especially in that one scene where it's early on, and it's like two people in the acting troupe talking about like the dreams they've been having, and all of a sudden you just hear the sound come in, and you're like, oh, this is real, this is bad.
I you know, the part where the acting troupe is in the woods and then they all start dying, and then it focuses on that one horrible woman's face who actually hit Sadako with the lead pipe or whatever it was.
That lady was evil.
Yeah. I really was hoping like you'd see like her face distort or like her head explode or something like that.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for Sadako to explode a head.
Yeah.
Like, I was a little disappointed. I don't know why I expected that, but I was a little disappointed we didn't get that. The gore was very restrained in this film.
Yeah, the way they zoomed in on her and the way they focused in on her, I was really like, oh, cool, we're going to see an epic death right now. And they just kind of cuts away from her.
Even with her, like, with her psychiatrist, who's the worst doctor ever.
Yeah, how'd that guy get his medical license?
I like that he's just like, well, it's a psychogenetic condition. You know what they say. Acting is a great medicine. Like, he's just saying nonsense to her.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
Just it's just like, buddy, this girl, like, kills people with her mind.
Yeah, you don't need medicine. You just go be an actor. You'll be all right.
But, like, when he died on stage, I was kind of expecting it to be a little more explosive. Instead, he seemingly just had, like, a stroke or a heart attack, for like, externally.
Which in the other films, because I remember one time when we watched the Sadako versus Kayako film, and one of them it wasn't that bad, and one of the murders, because like I know like in the American remake they almost have like a look like you've been bloated because you've been in water for too long. I was trying to remember in the Sadako versus Kayako film how they look like when Sadako kills you, because like do they have a similar look, or it's just like with this film the eyes look kind of...
I believe in the original Japanese ring, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I believe they do have that same bloated sort of look to them.
All right.
But I mean, this is before she was put in the well, so I guess...
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Yeah, I also liked when, if you pay attention to like background moments, when you see that she's seeing spirits, and at first, because like...
That was so cool.
I know, because I like the way it's done, where like... Because, like, especially the figure of the young man that she sees, because they're just standing there. They're just standing there. So it's almost like you're not necessarily supposed to notice them, but my eye immediately went to him, because even though he's supposed to be, but there's still something about him that makes him stand out before you realize it's a spirit.
The way people just phase through them really, like, I don't know, I find that really cool. And I guess you can see that as, like, you know, that's reflecting Sadako's own position in the world, even though she's physically in it. It's just like, you know, she's very much sort of an element people don't want to pay attention to because she makes them sad.
I did kind of like that they did. Like, there's one part where she's sitting backstage, and I don't know if it's the same instance you were talking about earlier with the baby hand, but there's like a rack of clothes, and you see something, just they don't point it out, they don't go to it or anything, but you see the hands like around the clothes, and that was almost mirrored the ending when you see the hands around Sadako.
Yes.
Like when she's on the cliff.
Oh, I didn't even see the hands in the clothes.
Yeah, it's where she's like she like passes out on the floor, and the teacup is on the floor next to her.
Oh, okay.
If you look closely, there were, and I actually went back because I was like, I didn't see that right, but they are there. The other question I had was, so the there's spirits around Sadako, right? And she can see them, but why could Aoki see them? Why was Aoki able to see them?
I'm sorry, remind me? Which one
Aoki was the girl in the acting troupe that died.
Okay. I think because she was infected with with the curse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
That's at least my interpretation of it. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. I guess it was eventually going to kill them all anyway. So she saw them. Eventually, those other acting troupe people were going to be seeing stuff too.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
So I really thought when Etsuko played the recording and stuff and ruined the performance, I thought it was going to go full Carrie mode, and I thought she was going to start dropping people left and right, and we didn't get that though. But
No, went in a different direction. But I just felt so bad, and at that point I just wanted the reporter to die too. I was like, now you're just being spiteful. Like I was like. Oh, did anyone else kind of find it funny though when she pulls out the gun because everyone else has like a pipe?
I was like,
candelabra.
Yeah, and she has like a 1940s gun.
And the way the other people stare at her when she takes it, I was like, that would be my same response. Like, and she just like pulls out the gun. I was like, oh my god.
And then she doesn't even use it on Sadako.
No, she uses it on herself and the other girl.
Yeah, like, what was the point of that? Like, was the point of her bringing the gun the whole time, like, to kill herself if she came face to face with Sadako? And then why go face to face with Sadako then?
I think it was unintentional. She was trying to run away, but I think Sadako had already got into the house.
Couldn't she just have shot herself anywhere? Like, why'd she have to go there? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Like, she knew she was infected. She knew she was gonna die. Either you take a couple of shots at Sadako at least. You know what I mean? Like don't just give up.
Sadako is a person.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. She just shoots herself. She didn't have to go all the way there to shoot herself.
I don't know. I guess maybe.
Plot hole.
I thought maybe Sadako made them do it. That was sort of my interpretation of just
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a little creepier. I like that.
Oh, yeah, I can see that definitely. I guess maybe she kind of thought they'd be safer in the house. Who knows?
Also, when she sees her outside and then goes to close the window, she does it in the most indiscreet way ever. She slams the window closed. I'm like, literally everybody that's around just heard what you just did. They know where you are. Oh, I thought the ending was hilarious. I really laughed a lot at the ending. When the reporter is what's the girl's name? That played the recording you just said. Etsuko. When she takes Etsuko into the house and Etsuko's like wailing. I actually said out loud, I was like, my God, that's annoying. And then the reporter goes, calm down. And I was like, thank you, reporter. Thank you.
This movie does fall into the horror movie trap of the last 15 minutes or so just being people shouting names.
Yeah.
Sadako! Sadako!
Yeah. Well, I guess it's helpful. Like, one thing I always joke is when you watch J-dramas, because, in real life, how often when, you're talking, you don't always say the person's name when we're talking. Yeah. But in J-dramas, it's they which is nice because you'll never forget a character name because they're constantly saying the person's name. So I just thought it was really funny. I guess it's I don't know. They didn't want you to forget who you were dealing with is essentially what's going on. But yeah, I think, though, a lot of the unanswered questions, because I was reading this essay that was talking about when this film, when the first film came out, how it changed sort of the horror genre game, and it sort of introduced people to Japanese horror, and all the films that, I just hit the mic, all the films that came afterwards, and all the remakes and whatnot. But how, a lot is left unsaid. With this film, I wanted to know how the split between adult and baby Sadako even happened. The doctor was not helpful.
Nope, he just said it matter-of-factly.
Usually I do like how much is left unsaid in East Asian horror movies, but I needed a little more. I needed a little more on that.
That's a pretty significant plot detail to just gloss over.
I know. I was like,
oh, yeah, they split one day. You know?
Yeah, and then he was like, I kept her locked up. I said, well, you didn't do a good job. Because she's out, so yeah. I don't get it.
That was the other thing. So at the end, when he injects her, I thought he was killing her. I thought he was gonna kill her. And
Wasn't
then,
he? That's what he was doing.
Well, no, but then he put her in the well. He just wanted to drug her to get her to the well, I
like,
guess.
Like why?
Oh, I thought the drug. Okay, I thought the drug because she was having trouble breathing, so I thought that was supposed to kill her. But then I guess she wasn't dropping fast enough, and then she started running away, and then he had to resort, I guess, to the last resort, which was chopping her head. I have no idea.
And I love too when she starts like kind of like crawling away. He like he's so surprised that she's crawling away. He's like, Sadako, hey, where you going? Like,
Trying to get away from you. Like, I don't know.
I was like, dude, you have to inject her with a little bit more than that, I guess. Like,
I don't know, yeah.
Have we seen the original one here?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we? Wait, did we watch it?
Oh,
for the pod?
not for
No, not for the podcast. I was
No,
just
I
asking.
don't think I've ever seen the
Okay,
original.
it's really good.
Yeah.
I think you'd like it. It's also not very gory. It is
Yeah.
freaky, but
Yeah.
like and there is I don't most of it's like sadder than it is scary because like like again, there's a lot of sympathy for Sadako in it,
Yeah.
and and the American one is really good too, honestly.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
liking the American one. I think I saw the original one much more recently than I saw the American one. That's
think
Naomi Watts, right?
yeah, I think the American one was the first horror movie I ever saw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
okay.
cool.
Yeah, it's a good movie though. Gore Verbinski, a good director.
Yeah, I remember liking it.
And I think the second American one was actually directed by the original director of the Japanese one.
Really? I don't know that I ever saw The Ring 2.
Okay, I saw it when I was a small child. All I remember in it was a deer dying, and that they had a
Did Sadako kill it?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, I think it just died. And like they kept their key to the house in a little fake rock. And at like 8 years old, I was like, "That's really cool." That's all I remember.
That's what you got from
Yeah.
it. Wow.
I was like 8. Yeah.
Interesting.
The original American one sticks out more in my mind because
Yeah.
that was on like HBO all the time, and I was a Scary Movie 3 kid. That was my scary movie of choice. So
Which one is that?
they did The Ring. They did War of the Worlds and Signs.
Is that with Charlie Sheen?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, and it has the scene where they're doing 8 Mile too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
What is Naomi Watts in the second one too?
I believe so.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. And then there was a third one, Rings, in 2017. I've heard nothing about it. So.
Oh. Wow. So she had to deal with 2 weeks of that, huh? In her life. That's rough. Imagine getting through the 7 days and then you got to do it all over again. That would
The
suck.
ending of the original one is like kind of really funny.
Yeah.
Not the original Japanese one, because like the main character figures out that like okay, like how you survive it is you make a copy and you show it to someone else.
Yeah.
So you doom someone else.
Yeah,
and-
but they can continue the chain too.
Okay.
But then she just ends with like her turning to her kid and being like, "We're going to Grandpa's house," and then they like speed off in a car and like drum and bass music plays and you're like, "Whoa!"
They're gonna kill her grandpa.
I guess they don't really like Grandpa all that
Wow.
much.
I remember. Now that you're saying that, I remember the end of the American one. I think the guy that was with, I don't know if it was her husband or boyfriend or whatever, but the guy that was with Naomi Watts, like she actually like crawls out of the TV, and then,
Yeah.
I think that's the first time you see her do that, right? Is at the end of the movie.
I don't know.
But I remember that being like creepy.
I loved her crawling out of the TV. That's
Yeah.
such a great image.
And then I think she crawls back in, or maybe it's the first time you see her crawl back in, and then it gets really tight on the TV, and then the entire, I think I saw it in the movies actually. It's all coming back to me now. The entire screen like gets staticky like it would, and then it,
Wait, she crawls back in?
She's
only
got to
rem-
go home.
Yeah.
Well, no.
yeah, she crawls back into the TV.
No,
and then
because
the
I
camera,
just remember her crawling out.
Yeah, and then the camera gets really tight on the TV, kind of like you're watching the TV, and then it goes staticky, and it turns off like you're watching it, and you have 7 days now. I just remember, and I must have been, what year did The Ring first come out?
2002.
Yeah, so I was 12 years old,
And you were watching. Wow.
and I was like, a 12-year-old Lewis is like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Now I have 7 days to live. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, it's been a long time since I've seen the American one. I gotta go back to that
Yeah,
one.
I remember at the time it can. I've shared this story with you. When I was at college, I received a VHS tape and I put
Really?
it in. Yeah, and
From who?
I don't know.
Wait, what? Someone sent you a videotape?
Yeah, and I put it in, and it had the static.
You watched it?
No, I stopped it.
When was this?
Oh, this was many years ago. I graduated from
All right,
college.
so
in
you survived the
2008.
week, all right. You're all right.
Yeah,
I
it
would
was.
have been so jumpy 7 days after. I would have been like, ah.
I'm staying home today.
Yeah, it was.
No,
yeah.
that's where the TV is.
That's true.
No, and I just remember, like, I went to my dean. And I was like saying, this was left in my mailbox, and I don't appreciate the joke or whatever. And I don't know whatever happened to it, but it was left in my mailbox in college.
So there was nothing on the tape.
I don't know. I never watched it fully.
Do you still have the tape?
No.
I was gonna say bring it in.
No.
Let's watch it.
Because and a part of me realized nothing would possibly happen,
Wow.
but at the same time, like, I don't know what other images were on the tape.
I don't know, Simone.
It's gonna be a woman brushing her hair and a wow.
Yeah,
And
I gotta be honest with you. Thinking about the original movies, or even the American remake, like, and you're just kind of like, you're watching it and you're like, the people that are watching the video, you're like, you're stupid. Why are you watching it? Here I am sitting here like, I'd have to watch it. I would have to watch it. Curiosity would just be too much for me. If somebody left a videotape in my mailbox, I'd be like, I'm watching that.
No, I was just too.
Getting my popcorn. I'm saying my goodbyes. I'm taking a week off of work. I'm booking a trip somewhere, and I'm watching that.
Yeah. No. Although I wonder now what happened to the tape.
It tormented somebody else, I bet. But I'd go somewhere tropical. Sadako's not going to the beach. You see her skin? She's not going to the beach.
I'm sure she'd make an exception. Just for
She
you.
comes
Also-
rolling out of the water.
wait, we haven't addressed that Sadako has like healing powers.
Oh yeah, I loved that. That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
That was wild. I was like, what?
That was almost
she
like.
can she can make disabled people walk.
Yeah.
She can...
And she healed her buddy's head.
Yeah.
After he gets struck. I liked how when the acting troupe beats her to death, you notice how they focus on her hands?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, they're like she can heal. She could. I don't know. I saw that as like she could like cure everything that's going on right now, and fix everything that's going on right now. And you guys are. She could probably fix you guys. She could probably heal you guys, and save you from baby Sadako.
Yeah.
But you guys are like that mob mentality, and you just killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool twist. And I had forgotten that you had mentioned that too, and I was like, oh yeah, he did say that they were that she can like cure people. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it does make you've kind of sold me on that with how tragic it becomes.
Yeah. Yeah, like she probably could have cured them from the curse, had she known, and had they given her time and stuff like that.
God.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah. I guess not.
Now I'm really sad about Sadako.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when I was talking to our library ghost about the whole Sadako versus Kayako film and how I was rooting for Kayako because I felt so bad for her. I was like, she can't do much. First of all, like her back, everything is broken. Sadako can at least walk upright. Like I was just feeling so bad. Like it was just I don't know how fair of a fight it really is. But I was cracking up when she gets sucked back into the television. I'm like, oh, that's fine. And then she even takes her son. I was like, what did the son have to do with it? He's not involved in this fight.
That movie was ridiculous. What, didn't one of them just randomly at the end of the movie have like magical powers or something like that?
Well, they
Like-
barely fought.
Yeah. No, but
I,
one of the people, remember? One of the normal people, like a regular person who you thought was just a
Wasn't
regular
there
guy.
like a kid who looked like Harry Potter in there?
Probably.
Yeah,
That
he had
sounds
like
about right.
big glasses and.
Oh, yeah, I think so, yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it is interesting how like the big showdown happens at like the last few minutes, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. Nothing really happened,
Yeah.
but I guess people were just happy that they were both there. I guess.
Not a birthday party.
Well, it's sort of,
birthday.
Or is it?
well, it sort of reminds me of like the whole Freddy versus Jason film. That
I never
came out.
actually saw Freddy vs. Jason.
My older brother did, and I think he got very excited. But I just remember the really corny line because there's also Freddy and Jason in space, right?
No, that's just Jason X.
Yeah.
Just
Jason in
Jason
space.
goes to space.
Okay. Who was the one? What film is Kelly Rowland in? Is that the Freddy versus Jason? Because she has like the line, "We can't go to sleep, but we can't stay awake," or something like that. Some corny line that she just throws out there.
It might be.
Yeah, we can't go to sleep and we can't stay awake, or something like that. Some weird line like
Let's
that.
see. Kelly Rowland. Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah, and I wonder who wins in that one. Could there ever really be a winner though? Never mind. Anyway, but like I can kind of see the appeal of the whole Sadako versus
The winner's
Kayako.
ambiguous.
Of course.
It seems like Jason beheads Freddy, but then Freddy winks at the camera. So.
Oh, okay. I would really love to do a whole Freddy series.
I love the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
Because they just get progressively worse, but there's still something so good about them.
No, 2 and 3 are amazing.
2 is the one with the guy?
Yes.
Yeah. That actually is probably one of one of the scariest ones that came after the first one. Like that one's legitimately terrifying.
No, yeah. No, there's some really great imagery in that, and I think it's an interesting relic. And 3 is Dream Warriors, which is just badass.
Yeah.
How many are there?
7 of the originals.
Wow.
Because it's 6 and then New Nightmare.
Okay.
And then there was a remake that nobody liked very much.
No, because it's
When
stupid.
did the remake come out?
Like late 2000s, early
Oh, yeah.
2010s.
It's stupid. It's not worth watching.
It was like around that time, like when
And
they
it's
did
just
like
called
the
a
Friday the 13th remakes and
Oh, yeah?
stuff, and yeah,
It's just called A Nightmare on Elm Street?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I
And
don't
Jackie
know.
Earl Haley is Freddy.
Who's that?
He's a character actor. He's got
Yeah.
like a tough face.
If I saw him, I'd recognize
He was
him.
Rorschach in the Watchmen movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This movie, though, is actually based on a book, as are all of the Ring films. Well, more inspired by the book, because they don't usually follow the books very well.
Yeah, apparently this book is very different.
Yeah, as the library ghost has told us. But this is Birthday. It's a collection of short stories that focus in on the women of the Ring. Yeah, I haven't read it, but the library ghost highly recommends it. Now,
Take your playbook out.
yeah, I don't know. What do we want to cover?
Can we? So the library ghost was really nice and gave us notes. I just wanted, like, prior to recording, I was talking about because library ghost gave us some of the more famous urban legends. So there's like the slit mouth woman, Teki, which is like a ghost of a schoolgirl girl gets cut in half because she got hit by a train. But I really liked the Hanako-san of the toilet because I
That's
feel like
pretty
of all the
funny.
places to
Little-
haunt after
little
you've
toilet
died,
ghost.
you
There's
haunt
a-
a toilet.
There's a good bit in a Legend of Zelda game that it sort of plays off of that, where you go into the toilet and there's a scary ghost hand coming out, but it just wants toilet paper.
Oh, that's well, yeah. I mean, we've all been there. But I just love it because isn't there also a manga series?
Yes, I believe it's called like Toilet Bound Hanako-kun or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was just thinking, like, oh, okay. So here's something interesting. Okay, if you could be a ghost and haunt a place, what would you want to haunt? So a
Not the
toilet, a
toilet.
well, train station.
Can I haunt, like, MetLife Stadium?
You could, yeah.
All right. Because, like, think about it. Concerts are there. The Giants are there. You know what I mean? That's
Library
really-
would honestly be pretty cool.
Library would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could watch a lot of movies. You could read a lot of books. You could,
True.
you know, there's
True. A movie theater.
yeah.
Yeah.
Movie theater would be cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm just reminded of another Netflix series where, like, and I can't remember now what it's called, but anyway, there's a ghost who haunts a lighthouse And he goes, basically, there's too many people there. He goes, if I wanted to haunt a place with people, I would have haunted an Arby's or whatever. So he just wants to be left alone. Like, that's what I think that honestly would be me. Like, I'd want to haunt a place that's secluded because even in death, I wouldn't really want to be around people. So I think also I'd be like, Lighthouse would be really cool. Mess with the ships that pass by or something. Like,
Cause massive death.
Cause crashes and death.
well, if I got to spend an eternity doing something. But
Haunt the Suez Canal, get more boats stuck in there.
that would be fun. But yeah, I just like the Hanako-san on the toilet just like cracked me up so much. Because like the little note where if you're not fast enough, you'll get dragged into the toilet and never seen again. Wouldn't it be terrifying? I'm thinking now of Harry Potter when they go through the toilets and they get.
I don't like Moaning Myrtle. She's weird. I don't like her. She's gotta go.
Aw, I kind of like. Well, she's very helpful. She's the one that isn't she the one that helps Harry figure out that he has to put it in the water, the egg in the water? Yeah,
but then she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna watch you shower," and it's like, no.
She's kind of a creep. Yeah.
I guess when you're dead, you have nothing else to do.
But yeah, and Sadako is very inspired by Onrois. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Apologies if not. Which are Japanese vengeful spirits, and they're usually depicted as like women who were very wronged in life and come back and, sort of seek their revenge out, though often not against directly the person that caused it, but against people who, sort of trigger it in some way. Like here, Sadako, not in this movie, but in other movies, Sadako goes after anybody who watches the tape. Yeah. So, but yeah, and very similar, like, design style to Sadako. Usually it's, like, traditionally, like, a white burial kimono, long, stringy black hair, and, yeah.
I like how in some of the films the hair has a life of its own.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just going to say, I remember how disgusting the hair was in the American one.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's, like, wet.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I remember there's this one, and I think it is a Sadako film, but there's a woman, she hides in a closet, and you just see, I don't know if, like, the wig is already in the closet, but you just see the hair growing and growing and growing and reaching for her, like, in the closet. It was really legitimately terrifying. Maybe I have seen the original Ring. Because I remember also, like, there's a scene where something happens to where the hair comes down from his ceiling. And maybe I have seen one of the original Rings, but I just don't remember. But that's really creepy. Like how the hair itself is an entity.
I remember watching it was a Japanese film from the '60s, but it's a collection of ghost stories called Kwaidan, and I think the first one in it is like a samurai. I forget exactly what causes it, but he's attacked by haunted hair. I'm sure there's some poetic thing where it's like, his wife or whatever, but yeah. Oh. And it's so like, I like that sort of like hair-based horror imagery. I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, it's very freaky. I was telling our library ghost about another film. It's a remake of a Filipino horror movie. It's called The Echo. I think it was done in the early 2000s. And there's a scene where, like, one of the main characters, or the love interest of the main character, she does clothing design. So she's in her shop, and she's working with a mannequin. And she hears something freaky, and then at one point you see the mannequin is no longer the mannequin. And you know that because you see the hair of the mannequin is matted, and it's, like, in a ponytail. And then you realize it's the spirit, it's no longer the mannequin. And, like, she reaches around to, like, touch the shoulder, and, like, it just, the whole hair... Because you realize something is off because it's hair. It's no longer the fake hair like of a mannequin. I thought it was really cool the way that's done. And that's in the remake. But it's a similar thing. Like hair plays a big part in that movie as well. So, yeah. But the hair is always freaky to me. Like, because it moves on its own. You can't escape it. It comes from the drain, from the ceiling. It's kind of gross. Yeah. But isn't Dark Water? Doesn't a similar thing happen in the film Dark Water?
I don't think I ever saw Dark Water.
Dark Water is really good.
I never saw it. I want to see the original. Apparently the remake's pretty good, but yeah.
The remake is. I don't know. I believe I've seen the original, but the Dark Water American version is really good.
Who's in that?
Jennifer Connelly,
yes.
Tim Roth.
Yeah.
I'm always very hesitant with the American remakes of like J-horror for some reason. I think honestly the one that that made me turn against it is the American remake of Pulse.
I never saw that.
It catastrophically misses the point of the original. Like, yeah.
Pulse?
Yeah.
Never even heard of it.
Is that?
It has Kristen Bell.
Oh
it.
yes,
okay.
I know what you're talking. Yes.
Yeah. It's internet-based ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the original is like a really amazing and deeply depressing film,
Oh, yeah.
and like very scary and unsettling. But like it's really, really conveying like a huge sense of loneliness and isolation. And
Yeah.
in the American one, like the main characters are having sex all the time, and it's just
Yeah.
like, well, maybe that's not how you convey it.
Yeah.
Is the original one in Japanese, like, is there a scene where, like, this guy is hiding behind a couch in an abandoned place and the female ghost comes and it's almost like
Yes.
she's off kilter?
Yes,
like she's,
it's the scariest ghost ever.
I
It's so freaky.
watched that scene because it's almost like she's underwater.
It's horrible.
And I was like,
It's-
oh, because there's also the music is unsettling.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, I like to see where he stares over the. I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be staring over the couch.
What's that one called?
Pulse.
The Japanese version,
Yes.
same name? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. I mean, I kind of want to watch the whole film now, but that scene alone terrified me.
It's one of my favorite horror films. It's just like it's quite depressing.
Oh.
Kiyoshi Kurosawa is a great filmmaker. He did another famous J-horror movie called Cure, where it's sort of like it's almost Seven-esque, where it's like a serial killer investigation, but the killer sort of like I don't know. He's like a very like Bartleby the Scrivener-esque figure, where he sort of convinces you to kill for him in like a very
wow.
flat way. I don't know. It's fascinating. The vibes are so bad. It's amazing.
Interesting. See, it makes me want to do more horror stuff.
I'm always down. Yeah. I'd be down for a J-horror series, K-horror, whatever. You throw it at me, I'm in.
There are definitely, like, there are some K-horror films I wanted us to watch, but I don't think we either had any copies in the system. But I'll look again, because there are some good ones that I think we'd enjoy watching. Because they're not, like, necessarily heavy on the gore, but it's more, like, psychological. But it's really...
What are some of your favorites? I have seen some heavy on the gore.
Well, like, A Tale of Two Sisters is one of my favorites. And there's also one called Hansel and Gretel, which is a twist on the Hansel and Gretel story. I can't say too much, I think it would give away what,
Okay.
but those are two of my favorite. And they're also beautifully shot, and, like, the color scheme, especially of Hansel and Gretel.
Oh my god. Okay, so A Tale of Two Sisters is by the guy who did I Saw the Devil.
Yeah.
That's a very, very famously intense one.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, yeah.
gory, and yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he just did that movie Cobweb. I've heard that's kind of hysterical. I gotta watch some Kim Ji-woon.
Yeah, like, I think I've never seen I Saw the Devil, like, in its entirety. I think I've seen most of it, but I remember watching Old Boy, and that was an experience. And then I watched Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
That's another Park Chan-wook, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And then there was Sympathy for Lady Vengeance or something, which is so, yeah, very disturbing films. But yeah, like, I'll look again in the system, or if the films are available elsewhere, and I think it would be interesting to discuss those.
Old Boy's evil because
Yeah.
it lulls you into a false sense of security because, like, it's very funny for a lot of it. And,
Yeah.
like, the opening segments are, like, genuinely, like, it's like a black comedy.
Yeah.
And, like, then, you know, the violence gets unsettling and
Yeah.
it's brutal violence. But
Yeah.
then the ending's just like, gee, dear God, you had to go full Greek tragedy. Like,
Yeah.
this is evil.
It reminds me of there's a film called Mother, and I think it's by I think
Bong Joon-ho, right?
I believe so. And my sister was at her other library, and there was a Mother's Day display, and one of her coworkers put that for Mother's Day, and my sister was like, "I don't think you want to include
Oh, wait,
that."
the
as
American one or the Korean one?
Korean one.
Okay.
And she says, and my sister said, "I don't think you want to put that for a Mother's Day display." And she was like, "Why?" She says, "Because the film is about this." And she immediately took it off the display because she had no clue what it was about. And my sister was like, "No, you might not want to include that for Mother's Day." But for a while, like, on TV, you could watch, like, it was like Asian Extreme, and they would play horror movies. That's how I saw a lot of my Korean horror movies, because there was like there was a channel and they would have like Asian Extreme, some very interesting horror movies. Yeah, like there was another one where it was like a female ghost, but the twist at the end was that it was a man. But he had really long hair, so everyone assumed he was a female ghost, but it was a male ghost who was getting revenge. But I cannot remember what that film was called. But that one was interesting too. It was a sad one too. Because he died, I think, because people were jealous or whatever. It was some like.
Of his hair?
No, he was in a relationship and like I don't know. And I guess someone was jealous and he gets killed, and then he just basically goes on a revenge spree. But everyone assumes it's a woman, and then at the end it's revealed, oh, it's not a woman. I was like, oh, I was kind of shocked at the twist too, because he's also wearing a dress, the white dress. He has the really long hair. I gotta find out what that film is called. So yeah, like, but I did appreciate all these notes and like the different types of ghosts. Like even the slit mouth woman, there is a film on with that ghost. And I remember talking to our library ghost and said, that's not fair because she'll kill you either way, no matter what answer you give her, she's gonna kill you.
Well, I think most of these ghosts in here are gonna kill you no matter what.
Yeah, they don't seem very nice.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like with that one, she asked, do you think I'm pretty? And if you say yes or no, she's still going to kill. So I was like, what's the point?
But she's
Well,
angry.
She just wants to know.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
before I do this, what do you think?
She's like, hey, do we gotta update my Tinder profile?
Exactly.
Oh my
It's
god.
hard out here for a ghost.
Oh my god.
All right, what are we rating this one out of? Curses? Sadako? I don't
Sadako's,
know.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, right?
I think I'd go with 3 Sadakos. I mean, it's entertaining. Don't know if I'd watch it again, but yeah, I'd go with 3 Sadakos.
I'm gonna go with 2 out of 5 Sadakos. It was a movie. Yeah.
Are you gonna go with 3.5 Sadakos? I'm easy to please with 5s. I don't know. But yeah, all right. Welcome to spooky season, folks. We'll see you next time with whatever the library ghost has picked out for us.
Yeah, we don't even know.
Bye. All right. So what are we doing here, Luke?
Amanda has reached out to us, and she said that she has to show us something really cool. I'm excited. I'm hoping it's not anime related. So let's see what she's got.
Guys. Over here. Psst.
Weird.
Follow me. Follow me. Follow me.
That's a bad thing when Amanda's crouching down and hiding and stuff.
Okay. All right. I think we're alone. So, for a while, I've been told by other librarians here that we did have, like, a Ouija board. I found it.
A real one?
Yeah. Check it out. Check it out.
Oh, no.
Check it out. Milton Bradley. I don't know what year. Looks like the 60s. Could be the 80s. I don't know. But, like, check it out. Like, it's there. It's got everything.
Are you sure we should be doing this?
It's just a game. There's nothing wrong with playing a game. It's not even real. But you know what we should do?
What?
I think you and Joe should, like, find the scariest place in the library. I don't know where that
The
is.
adult reference section?
Maybe. To some. But I really think that we should pick a scary place, and we should definitely, like, try to use it.
You ever been down in the boiler room? I hear it's pretty creepy down there.
No, I haven't.
Real creepy.
Oh, maybe that's the perfect spot. Maybe we can do it there.
I heard that's where lost books go to die.
Oh no, what? Maybe we can summon the dead books of the past. I don't know.
Maybe.
So, but yeah. I think we should definitely do it. What do you think?
Hell yeah. Of course, let's go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it. Let's check it out.
All right, on it. We'll set up a schedule. We'll set up a date for it.
Oh, we're not going right now.
No, not right now.
Oh,
Not
you don't
today. No, we're working today.
Oh, we're working.
No,
right.
we should figure out a day when it's cool for us to come and do it.
Oh, okay. I wish I'll make sure I'm wearing the same clothes I'm wearing today. So that it's authentic.
So, yeah, I guess we'll meet up in, like, maybe tomorrow. We'll discuss it tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, after hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got it.